Let's go live to Sydney, the northern beaches of Sydney. Peter Dutton is speaking to the media.
And I think it's very important to point out that a vote for a teal candidate is a vote for Anthony Albanese, because they will not support the coalition in a minority government after the next election. They will only support the Labor Party and the Greens. And in James and Jamie, we have two exceptional candidates who I think will do a great job for the local community. And if we win these seats back, we win government, and we can stop the Albanese government from destroying the livelihoods of many Australians. We can get our country back on track, and that's exactly what we intend to do. All right.
Mr. Dutton, regarding the Australia's shift in its long-standing position regarding the Israel-Palestinian conflict in 2 UN votes today, is that shift something that you support?
It's not something I support, and we've been very critical of the position that the government's adopted, which has been at odds to the commitments that they gave to the Jewish community before the election. I think this is a really important point to make. Not only did the Prime Minister promise to reduce the cost of living and the cost of mortgages, he looked people of Jewish faith in the eye before the election and gave them a guarantee that there would be no difference between the two parties, that there would be bipartisan positions in relation to votes at the UN and our position with regard to Israel. They've completely abandoned the Jewish community. The State of Israel, there is a lot of anger, understandably, in the community at the moment with the way in which the government has sold out the Jewish community. And I think the Prime Minister stands condemned, because when you ask yourself why would the Prime Minister sacrifice his credibility and backflip on the commitment he gave, it's for votes. He sold the Jewish community out in this country for green votes in Western Sydney and in places like Marrickville. That's what the Prime Minister's done, and I think we should be standing with allies like the United States. Instead, the Albanese government is chasing green votes, and they've been prepared to sacrifice the well-being of the Jewish community here in Australia to do so.
Just on that, do you think that there could be ramifications in regards to the US-Australia alliance?
Well, look, I think obviously we'll wait till January 20 to see the new administration take office and what the relationship is like between our country and the United States. It's absolutely imperative, more so than ever, given the precarious times in which we live, that the relationship with the United States is strengthened, not weakened. And it seems to me that the Prime Minister is at odds with a lot of his contemporaries of like-minded countries, not just the United States. To be out there voting the way that they have in relation to Israel, I think demonstrates that the Prime Minister is more interested in domestic votes than he is in the well-being of Jewish Australians, our national interests from a security or social cohesive perspective. And it's obvious that I think the Prime Minister's sold out millions of Australians on this issue, but on cost of living issues otherwise.
What is the Liberal Party's position on a two-state solution? Because there's been a bit of contention over this position now.
Well, it's been no contention from us whatsoever. We've been very clear, and when you see what happened on October 7, we're not going to provide support to terrorist organisations or to encouraging terrorist organisations. Look at what's happened in Lebanon. Lebanon, I think, now has an opportunity for good people to reassert their position with Hezbollah being degraded. The Hezbollah terrorists aren't just attacking Israelis, they're attacking people, Maronites and others within Lebanon. So we want to make sure that there's peace, and peace can operate if terrorist organisations aren't in control, and if they're given encouragement by believing that they can achieve statehood through terrorist activities, then what encouragement is there for them to lay down their weapons? So I think Australia has had a strong bipartisan position recognised in the world at the UN and with our partners for a long period of time, but that has now changed. And it's changed because the Prime Minister has abandoned Israel and abandoned other like-minded countries with a similar view to Australia, because they want to achieve domestic votes here.
So without Hamas, could Palestine be part of a two-state solution?
Well, let's concentrate on Hamas at the moment. I think our position...
Voters in Western Sydney will want to know this too. It's an issue that's going to ring true across the whole city of Sydney, right?
Well, the best that we can do at the moment for peace in the Middle East is to defeat Hamas and Hezbollah, and to make sure that their proxy in Iran doesn't strike with nuclear weapons.
The opposition leader there in Sydney.